said, Rasulullah said, let us come and obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rather than the people. So number one. And then, of course, there was a big problem in Christianity. However, they say that they worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They have monotheism with them. They believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the problem was taslis. The problem was, the Trinity. And they ruin all the aspect of Tawheed. They said the Ruhul Quds is Allah, and the Father is Allah, and the Son is Allah. So there's no single dimension of the Tawheed, if you go literally into the philosophy or in Ilmul Kalam, that all the aspect of Tawheed was ruined by them. No matter it is a Tawheed of Sifat or Tawheed of Af'al or Tawheed of Zat. So they are, complicated discussions. I'm not going to, delve into them. But Tawheed, it was distorted by them. It is not the Tawheed which was given to them by Prophet Isa alayhi salatu wasalam. So the first thing Rasulullah invited them, that I am inviting you, ad'ukum ila ibadatillah min ibadatil ibad. I'm inviting you to obey Allah, to worship Allah, and leave the obedience of the people. And then, if it is matter only the Tawheed matter, so Rasulullah would have sufficed over here. But next segment, what Rasulullah said? Rasulullah said that وَأَدْعُوكُمْ إِلَى وِلَايَةِ اللَّهِ مِنْ وِلَايَةِ النَّاسِ. I'm inviting you toward the wilayah. I'm inviting you to come and enter into the fold of wilayah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and leave the wilayah of the people, leave the patronage of the other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that is why we say that the Eid E Mubahila, it is a Eid Wilaya. And of course, when we talk about the Wilaya, so Wilaya, it is not confined into the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah very clearly in Quran says, Ati'ullah wa innama waliyukumullah wa rasuluhu walladhina amanu alladhina yuqimuna salata wa yutuna zakata ila akhirih. So ayah says that your wali, the Wilaya, it is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the Wilaya is with the Rasul, as well as Ulul Amr, though, and Ulul Amr, of course, they are Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. So over here, Rasulullah invited them that you should come under the patronage of real wilaya. And then, when Rasulullah wrote this letter, so these people, they did not respond. And finally, what happened? Quran, he brought the argument. These people, they were adamant, and they said, how it is possible that Isa can be born without the father? And this it was the it was their argument. And because Isa does not have father, his father should be Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that is why Isa is a son of God. And then Ruhul Qudus, Jibra'il Amin. So they they mess up with the Tawheed. And then what happened when they did not accept? So finally, Rasulullah, what he said, Rasulullah did not call them, when argument or when there is a, dialogue, when the things are not sorted out with the dialogue. So what would happen? Usually the fight goes, the fight, the war, and next step is the war. But over here, Rasulullah did not announce to have fight with them. And even these people, they were not like pagan of Mecca. They were not like the, polytheists of Mecca. They were totally different. These Najrani people, they were different. Why? Because they used to say that they have faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they have Tawheed with them, and they have spirituality. They make du'as. People, they get cured by their du'as. Some spirituality, of course, they had gained from the Prophet Isa alayhi salatu wasalam. Not, all the spirituality, but some spirituality they had. So they were totally different from the pagans of the Makkah. So that is why Rasulullah did not call them to come and have fight or armed, forces fight. So Rasulullah said, let us come and have a mubahala. So when Mubahila has taken place, so I'm not going to mention the story of that, but this was the Mubahala. It is actually a battle, and it is a war front. First time the this war was opened by Rasulullah. in the history, if you see, since day one till the Mubahila day, there was only one type of fight. There was only one type of war, and that was armed force war. There was no any other war. But the war which was introduced, Mubahala, it is first time by Rasulullah, then it was continued by the Imams of Ahlul Bayt, by the ulama of Ahlul Bayt. So why Rasulullah called them to come in this battle? So actually, these people, they were claiming that they have spirituality. They are clean and they are very close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rasulullah said, it is your claim that you are close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You have spirituality. I will call you in the same battlefield. And that is why Rasulullah called them for the Mubahala. And then also, this war front has been used by our ulama. Let me give you a beautiful story over here in bracket. In Iran, especially in Isfahan, in the time of Safavi rulers, there was, at the time, our ulama, as Shia ulama, and Christians also, they used to live in Isfahan at the time. And because it was very close to Rome and some European countries, so a lot of missionaries, they used to come and they used to have debate. And a complete book or many books have been written about those debates and those arguments which taken place in between the Shia ulama as well as among the priests of Christianity. So once upon a time, there was a alim who's in the time of Safavi, Mullah Faiz Kashani. Mullah Faiz Kashani, he confront a priest, Christian priest, and this man, he said, I want to have debate with you and I want to have munadhara with you. So Mullah Faiz Kashani, he said, no problem. And he was a young man, still not, quite mature, still not at the old age. So Mullah Faiz Kashani is a young man, and that Christian is an old personality and very old man and very well experienced person. So when the debate started, so what happened in the debate? So Mullah Faiz Kashani, he said that you claim that you have is the high level of this spirituality. So he put his hand into his pocket and he said, can you tell me what is there in my hand? So this Christian priest, of course, he had some spirituality with them, as I told you. So he bent down his head, and for some time he did not say anything. Mullah Faiz Kashani, he said, it is my first question. You surrender yourself. He said, no, I'm not surrender. I know what is in your hand, but actually I'm wondering, where did you get it from? So he said, what is there in my hand? He said, in your hand, I know that there is a soil of the Jannah, soil of the heaven. So Mullah Faiz Kashani, he removes, the tasbih of Khak Shafaf, and that was the Khak of Karbala, that was the soil of the Karbala. Mullah Faiz Kashani, he said, yes, it is the soil of the Jannah. Because our beloved Rasul said, where there is the grave of Aba Abdullah al-Hussein, that piece of land is the piece of land of the Jannah. So when this, Rahib, or when this priest heard it, he said, if your prophet said it, and the Karbala is the land of Jannah, it is a fact and it is true. So that is why I accept Islam, and your religion is the true religion. So, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. So Rasulullah, what he has done, he has taken all his family member, and the tent was out in outskirts of the Medina. Tent was installed by the Salman al-Farsi, and munazara has taken place. And finally, Rasulullah said to them, when they surrendered and when they raised their hand, that now we are not able to have munazara with you or mubahala with you, so now we surrender. So Rasulullah said, if you surrender, you have to accept Islam. So these people, they said, no, we will not accept Islam. We will pay the jizya. We will pay the taxes for it. And then finally, Rasulullah said at that moment that, why don't you accept Islam? Their Rahib, he said, I am Muslim before you even make announcement. Means he said that I am submitted to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the meaning of Islam. I have already accepted Islam. Rasulullah said, no, the Islam which I brought, Islam in my meaning. So they said, no, we are not ready to accept it. And then, there was some discourse, and the Rahib, whose name is Harith, so he said that if we accept Islam, or our religion is very old religion, and community people, they have faith in us. If we change the whole structure and whole system is going to be collapsed, and everything is going to be ruined. Actually, these people, they were after the dunya. Rasulullah said to them, beautiful sentence, that I know that you are not going to accept Islam. يَمْنَعُ مِنْ إِسْلَامِكُمْ حُبُّ الشُّرْبِ الْخَمْرِ وَحُبُّ التَّسْلِيسِ وَأَكْلُ الْخِنْزِيرِ. Rasulullah said, three things will not allow you to accept Islam. Number one thing, Rasulullah said, حُبُّ شُرْبِ الْخَمْرِ, because you love to, consume the liquor. And number two thing, حُبُّ أَكْلِ الْخِنْزِيرِ, because you love to eat the pork. This is number two. Number three, وَحُبُّ التَّثْلِيثِ, because you love to remain or be adamant on your aqidah, and it is the aqidah of taslis. So over here, this is the segment of Rasulullah, the three reasons why you are not going to accept Islam, why you are not going to accept the concrete evidence and the intellectual evidence. Actually, Quran has presented the actual, intellectual evidence. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that if your claim is that Isa alayhi salatu wasalam, he is born without the father, and if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not the father of him, who is the father? So Quran says, Inna mathala Isa indallahi ka mathali Adam. So the example of Adam alayhi salatu wasalam is more estranging or more amazing than the example of Isa alayhi salam. Isa is born without father, but at least he had mother. But Adam alayhi salatu wasalam, he was born without father and without mother. So it means if it is your base, if it is your criteria, then you should say that the Adam alayhi salam, he is a God, na'uzubillah. However, they do not believe this. So this was the intellectual evidence, but they did not accept it. So then Rasulullah said that there are three reasons why you are not accepting Islam. It is number one, taslis, as I told you, the hubbu shurbil khamr wa hubbu aklil khinzir, and at-taslis, three things. Let me give you ayah in this regard, because ayah of Quran, it explicit or it explain what Rasulullah wanted to say. And if you look at the Surah Al-Baqarah, verse number 165, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala over there, he says, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَتَّخِذُ مِنْ دُونِ اللَّهِ أَنْدَادًا يُحِبُّونَهُمْ كَحُبِّ اللَّهِ. Three things, Rasulullah has mentioned. Number one thing, that the taslis, because they have this aqidah. So look at the Quran. What the Quran says, that Quran says those who have faith in Allah subhanahu, those who have faith in other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so, and yuhibbunahum kahubbillah, and they love him or they love them more than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what happened? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, will mislead them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala misguide them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not guide them. So what is the meaning of it? Meaning of the ayah. Look at the Quran. Quran says those who regard Allah other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Actually, these Christian people, they were regarding the Isa alayhi salam as Allah, Maryam alayhi salam as, and Ruhul Quds as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So they are regarding Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they are the makhluk of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And yuhibbunahum kahubbillah, and they love them the way Allah is loved. So because they used to love Isa alayhi salatu wasalam the way Allah is supposed to be loved. So their love was equal in between Allah and the Isa alayhi salam and the Ruhul Quds and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But what Islam says? Islam says, of course, the Prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the Prophet, not Allah. The love most, the most of our love should be dedicated to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let me give you an example. Once upon a time, Rasulullah, he was sitting in the mosque, and there was some ashab of Rasulullah, and these ashab, they were very old ashab, and mashallah, very knowledgeable ashab. They had long beard, white beard. A small child entered into the mosque, and Rasulullah asked him, who do you love most? So this child, he said, Ya Rasulullah, I love most Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then he said, Rasulullah said, after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who do you love? So he said, after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I love you, Ya Rasulullah. And then he said, after me, who do you love most? So this child said, after you, I love your Ahlul Bayt most. And then he said, Rasulullah asked him, then who do you love after them? This child, he said, after them, I love my parent. So Rasulullah, he become happy and he smiled and he said to all his ashab, Kunu mithla hadha sabi. You all have to become like this child, similar to this child. What does it mean? It means most of our love should be dedicated for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So these people, Najrani people, they loved other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is loved. So this is the first message of the ayah. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَشَدُّ حُبًّا لِلَّهِ. And those who have faith, those who have, iman, their most love is dedicated for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And look at the Surah Jasiyah. Over here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he talks about what Rasulullah said to the Najrani people. Rasulullah said, number one problem of you is taslis, your faith. And number two problem of you is, your carnal desire, because you are after your dunya desire. You are, after your whim and after your wishes. So that is why you are not going to accept Islam. Look at this ayah of Surah Jasiyah, verse number 23. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَفَرَأَيْتَ مَنِ اتَّخَذَ إِلَهُ وَهَوَاهُ وَأَضَلَّهُ اللَّهُ عَلَىٰ عِلْمٍ. Don't you see the person who regard his God, his own desire. So there are people, they regard their own desire as their God. So it means God's supposed to be followed. But people, what do? They do not follow Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They follow their carnal desire. They follow their own desire. So here Quran says, Afara'aita. Don't you see that there are people, they follow their own desire rather than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then what happened? If a person is after his desire, he is not, after the desire of Allah, he is not after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What happened? Allah said, وَأَضَلَّهُ اللَّهُ عَلَىٰ عِلْمٍ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mislead, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not guide such a man or such a person despite he has the knowledge. And that is why you see the knowledge has been come to them, to Najrani people. But they were not accepting Islam. They were not accepting the truth. Why? Because they were after their carnal desire. They were not ready to sacrifice the liquor. They were not ready to sacrifice the pork. They were after their whim desire. Why? Because if they would have accepted Islam, they should leave the liquor. They should leave the pork eating. So that is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, if someone is after his whim desire, after his carnal and mortal desire, so what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does with him? No problem. Even they have knowledge, they are not going to be guided. This is number one. Number two, وَخَتَمَ عَلَى سَمْعِهِ وَعَلَى قَلْبِهِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put seal on his hearing as well on his heart. That is why you see the people, those who are after their desire, they are able to listen. They listen everything. They know what is the right and what is the wrong. But their heart and their listen cannot judge it. Today, you see what is happening in the world. People, they are always listening the news. They are always, observing things. But they cannot distinguish. They are not ready to accept the truth. So this is number two. Number three, the effect of, following the whim desire. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that وَعَلَى بَصَرِهِ وَغِشَاوَةً. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put curtain before his eyes. Today, you see that in this dunya, dhulm is taking place before their eyes, but they are not ready to say that it is wrong. It is, injustice, or it is oppression. So despite of having all the knowledge, but they were not ready to accept the truth. So these Najrani people, before them, they heard the evidence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, And but their listening or their hearing power were not accepting all that. However, they heard all the knowledge, and they also had the knowledge that he is the real messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Quran says يعرفونه كما يعرفون أبناءهم. It is not like that they did not know Rasulullah. Huh? They knew Rasulullah the way father knows his children. They know that he is the true messenger of Allah. But because these people, they are after their whim desire, that is why they did not accept the prophet, and they did not accept the truth. And then if you look at the same thing when it comes to, they have seen the Ahlul Bayt, they are there, and they are the truthful people. But still, they were not ready to accept the truth. They're ready to pay the jizya, but they were not ready to accept the Islam and say that these are the righteous people, and they are this religion is the true religion. Why? Because they are after their whim desire. And that is why, if you look at the and this is the major problem, and not only for the Najrani people, even this problem sometimes comes to us. And this Mubahala is giving us a lesson that if we are after our carnal desire, so what would happen? We may be deviated. Because if you look at the Karbala, sometime, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَعَلَى سَمْعِهِ وَبَصَرِهِ, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he puts, khatm, he puts seal on their hearing. When we look at the Karbala, in Karbala, people, when Imam al-Hussein goes to them and he wanted to give mu'izah, and it is mentioned in the Maqtal that every now and then Imam al-Hussein, he is going in the battlefield and he is giving the khutbah, and he is giving the admonition to them, but they did not listen. However, the tongue which Imam al-Hussein was using, it was the ma'soom tongue, and the words which Imam al-Hussein was using, they were the wording of the Quran. So there was no problem in his speaker. There was no problem in wording at all. The problem was in listener. Why the problem was in listening? Because they were after their whim desire. They knew that he is the son of Rasulullah. They knew that what he is speaking, it is absolutely correct and absolutely right. But they were not accepting. Why? Because they were, following their whim desire. And that is why Rasulullah, when it comes to the tafsir of this ayah of Surah Jasiyah, Rasulullah said, وَمَا هُوَ إِلَّا مُنَافِقٌ جَعَلَ دِينُهُ هَوَاهُ وَإِلَاهُهُ بَطْنُهُ. Rasulullah said, munafiq person is the person who, ordained his desire as his religion, and who ordained his God as his stomach. Many people, they, go behind their desire, and they say it is the religion. And they go behind the desire of their stomach, and they say it is my God. So this is the interpretation of this ayah. And also Rasulullah continued, and he said, كُلَّمَا اشْتَهَى مِنَ الْحَلَالِ وَالْحَرَامِ لَمْ يَمْتَنَعْ مِنْهُ. Such a person who is after his desire, he does not, care what he is eating and what he is avoiding. Whatever he desires, he consumes it. He does not care about it. Now, let me give you a little detail in the regard of the Mubahala. When Rasulullah has taken his Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam to them, so what happened over there? Quran says, فَقُلْ تَعَالَوْا نَدُعُ أَبْنَاءَنَا وَأَبْنَاءَكُمْ. Rasulullah tell them to, we will bring our sons, you will bring your sons. We will bring our women, you bring your women. We will bring ourselves, and you bring yourself. So over here, 3 words are used. Number 1, abna'ana. Number 2, nisa'ana. Number 3, anfusana. So 3 things are, Rasulullah, 3 things Rasulullah is supposed to bring. So what Rasulullah does? He takes 2 of his children, Imam al-Hasan and Imam al-Hussein. And in nisa'ana, only Bibi Fatima Zahra. And in anfusana, Amirul Mu'minin. Once upon a time, in the time of Ma'mun al-Rashid, Imam al-Raza was there. So Ma'mun, he said to Imam, Ya Imam, the ayah of Mubahila which you present, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala over here, he said, wa anfusana wa anfusakum. that you bring yourself and I will bring my nafs. You bring your nafs, I'll bring my nafs. So here actually it is not talk about the Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. It is talk about Rasulullah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked to bring yourself. So don't say that the Rasul, that the Imam Ali, he is the nafs of Rasulullah. So, Imam Raza, he respond, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, over in the beginning of the ayah, he said, قُلْ فَقُلْ تَعَالَوْا نَدُعُوا أَبْنَاءَنَا وَأَبْنَاءَكُمْ. Let us invite your son, your women, and yourself. So actually, when someone invite, he cannot invite himself. So this nafs and this himself, it must be something then or other than the himself. And it is Amir al-Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib. Rasulullah salawat Allah Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And as I told you in very beginning, that the Mubahila has taken place in 9th Hijri. So Mubahila could take place in very beginning of the, in Medina life, or first Hijrah, second Hijrah, or third Hijrah. But it is a plan of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? What is the reason behind? Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala kept Mubahila at the end? And after 2 years, Rasulullah depart from this world. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala kept it at the end? Actually, ulama, they said the reason is when Rasulullah departed from this world, or why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala kept it at the end. At that time, Rasulullah, he got many marriages. He had many wives. And some ulama, they said Rasulullah had 9 wives at that time. So what does it mean? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to say that if I would have revealed, if the Mubahila has taken place or had taken place before 9 Hijrah, so Muslim could give excuse that because the wife of Rasulullah, they were not there. So that is why Rasulullah has taken only one lady from his family. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala kept it at the 9th Hijrah in the presence of 9 wives. And Rasulullah does not take any of his wife except the Bibi Fatimatul Zahra. So it means there was no wife of Rasulullah who was capable for the Mubahala. So this is the, about the Nisa'ana. However, there was a space, there was, majal in Nisa'ana, the word which is used in the ayah, it is plural, that you bring your women, I'll bring my women. So it means there was a space, but Rasulullah looked the women, Muslim women, and he did not find except Fatimatul Zahra, who was capable and who has this capacity to go into the Mubahila. And likewise, when it comes to the Abna'ana, Rasulullah, he had so many ashab. Rasulullah had so many, youth and children in the community and society. But Rasulullah did not find except Imam al-Hasan and Imam al-Hussein to take other than them to the Mubahala. And likewise, Anfusana. If you look at the history, many people, they say that if Rasulullah was not there, this man, he could take the place of Rasulullah. But when it comes to the Mubahala, there was no person except Ali ibn Abi Talib who was capable to go for the Mubahala. And therefore, because Rasulullah has taken his family member, and it is because the Najrani people, they were very clever people. They observe and they have seen that Rasulullah, he is not bringing his ashab, because if Rasulullah could bring his ashab, so we could say that this man, he is a man of dunya. But they understood, because he is bringing his family, he is not a man of dunya. He is a man of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the religion that he has, it is a true religion. And because if the religion was not true, someone cannot put his family member into the danger. Because Rasulullah, he brought his own family member in the world. You see, when the war is going on, so what they do today, you see the rulers or the hukam that we have, they send their family member, away from the danger. They send their family member at the time of war in other countries, so their family member can remain safe. But Rasulullah, in this war, and which was the most dangerous war, and this is the Mubahala, Rasulullah does not take anyone else except the family member. So the Najrani people realized that the religion of Islam, it is a true religion. If it was not true, Rasulullah would have not brought his family member. Let us pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ya Allah, give us tawfiq to get the maximum barakat, maximum blessing of the Mubahala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to inculcate the teaching of the Mubahala into our life. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fulfill the hajat of all mu'mineen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect all the mu'mineen from the evil of the enemy. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect the Muslims from the oppression of the oppressor. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to learn Quran and apply Quran into our life. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to perform Hajj and Ziyarat. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the rizq of shafa'at of Ahlul Bayt after our departure. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give the long life for our Maraji. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hasten the reappearance of our Imam. May Allah ordain us among his follower and among his supporter. Wa akhiru da'wan alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa ahli baytihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin. Rahim Allahu man qara al-Fatiha.
Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum, Khushali Mubarak. علی ولی کے نام پاک سے اگر تمہیں ہے پیار، آؤ سب علی علی کرے، علی علی کرے، آؤ سب علی علی کرے، علی علی کرے، آؤ سب علی علی کرے. سب بھائی ایک دفعہ مل کے آؤ سب علی علی کرے، علی علی کرے، آؤ سب علی علی کریں. لکھا علی، پڑھا علی، کہا علی، سنا علی، پلایا ماں نے دودھ میں بس ایک نام یا علی. نگر نگر، گلی گلی، چمن چمن، کلی کلی، دونوں ہاتھ اٹھاؤ اور دل سے بولو بار بار، آؤ سب علی علی کریں، علی علی کریں، آؤ سب علی علی کریں، علی علی کریں، آؤ سب علی علی کریں. ملنگ کی صدا علی ہے، سب کا آسرا علی، کہا ہے جبرائیل نے فقط ہے لافتہ علی. زمیں زمیں، فلک فلک، علی کی ہر جگہ جھلک، کلندر و ملنگ کی زباں پہ ہے یہی پکار، آؤ سب علی علی کریں، علی علی کریں، آؤ سب علی علی کریں، آؤ سب علی. غدیر اور مباہلا، خدا کا گھر ہو یا کسا، نبی کے ساتھ ساتھ ہیں علی بحکم کبریا. قدم قدم لیے علام، نبی کے ساتھ دم بدم، علی چلے ہیں اس طرح کہ ماں کے ساتھ شیر خوار، آؤ سب علی علی کریں، علی علی کریں، آؤ سب علی علی کریں. خدایا کیسا معجزہ علی کے نام کو دیا، کہ جس نے یا علی کہا بلند مرتبہ ہوا. علی کے گن جو گائے گا، کمال فن وہ پائے گا. ملے گی نصرت علی تو فتح ہوگی ہم کنا، آؤ سب علی علی کریں، علی علی کریں، آؤ سب علی علی کریں، علی علی کریں، آؤ سب۔ وسیلہ نجات ہے، شعور دینیات ہے، خدا کے ساتھ ہے علی، خدا علی کے ساتھ ہے، خدا خدا علی علی، صدا جو حرف میں ڈھلی، علم نبی نے دے دیا، خدا نے بھیجی ذوالفقار، آؤ سب علی علی کریں، علی علی کریں، علی 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 علی، آؤ سب علی علی کریں، علی علی کریں، آؤ سب علی علی کریں، علی علی کریں، آؤ سب علی علی کریں، اور محمد وعلی محمد صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم۔
افضل السلام محمد وآل محمد، يا راكبا نحو المدينة قاصدا، سلام عليك بلغ سلامي للنبي محمد، وقل السلام عليك يا علم الهدى، وعلى الوصي المجتبى والمرتضى، وعلى التقية والنقية فاطمي، وعلى الأولي الأطهار من أولادهم، يا محمد يا أحمد يا أبا الزهراء يا أبا القاسم جد الحسنين أحمد يا محمد، الہی ببیمار داشت بلا، جو بیمار ہو جلد پاوے شفا، الہی برائے امام زمان، ہمیں حول محشر سے دے تو امان، قیامت کو محشور ہو با علی، اٹھے قبر سے کہتے ہم یا علی، ہے پانچ بہنوں مل جہادتن، احمد و علی زہرا و حسن، شبیر سے لے تا امام زمان، شبیر سے لے تا امام زمان، ہر ایک پہ صدا सलावात पढ़ो सलावात सलावात व सलाम या इमाम ज़मान फरमाओ ज़ुहूर या इमाम ज़मान सलावात
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله، السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله، السلام عليك من أمير المؤمنين السيد المواسين، السلام عليكم فاطمة الزهراء سيد النساء العالمين، السلام عليك أهل الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك، عليكم من جميع سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت أبقي الليل والنهار لا راقل من زيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين جميع ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليكم يا غيب الغرباء، السلام عليكم وين الزفة والفقراء، السلام عليك يا شمس شاموس، السلام عليك يا أنيس نفوس، السلام عليك أيها المسموم يا رزتوس، السلام عليك يا أريم موسى ورزها ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا صاحب الزمان، السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن، السلام عليك يا مصر الأمان 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 وجور الزمان. أجل الله فرجك فسل الله مخرجك وظهورك جعل من وانك وانصارك ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كل وليك الحجة ابن الحسن